There's a black- Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our final mental health Zoom with Miami Southridge Community Collaboration Exchange. And we're joining the 10 Days of Connection this evening with Radical Partners. They've been doing this for a few years, which they May is Mental Health Month. So from May 1st to May 10th, they have a variety of connections going on. And this is part of one of the connections tonight with Radical Partners, hashtag 10 Days of Connection and love loudly. This is our mental health Zoom on being resilient. What do you know about being resilient? Never giving up despite all odds. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tawana Akins. I am the proud assistant principal of Miami Southridge Senior High School. I also work with community organizations that we are introduced later, that we come together throughout the month, not just doing Zooms, but a variety of community service activities to give back to neighborhoods throughout Miami-Dade County. So on behalf of Mr. Humberto J. Moret, our principal, I bring you greetings this evening, and we're going to get kicked off with the Zoom. But first, if you're a student in Miami-Dade County Public School and you want community service hours tonight, I need you to put your first, last name, and ID number in the chat, and I will be able to make sure you receive those community service hours. This was great this year because we were able to give 3 community service hours per month, and we did this for 9 months straight this year. And so that's 27 community service hours. You need only 8 to graduate now. So we're beyond, but you need more if you want to go to college and do other stuff in life. So with that being said, I'm going to stick to the agenda. So when I call your name, please be ready. We need to stay on mute. If you don't want your voice or your picture to be shown, make sure you cut your camera off and just don't say anything if you don't want your voice to be heard. So without further ado, the topic for tonight is being resilient. In the chat quickly, yes or no, have you heard of the word resilient before? Have you heard of the word resilient before? Awesome. A lot of people have. This wasn't a word that was around when I was a kid. That's what I wanted to know. How the kids, do they know that word now in this time and age? Because that word wasn't around when I was back in school. Okay. So that's a great thing. So if you have to think about someone's life story who is resilient to you, they are the face. If resilient had a face in the dictionary, that person would be there. And why? Let's fill up the chat again. Think about the person who is resilient to you and why. We're not just putting a name, we're going to put a name with a little short sentence. Why that person is resilient to you.
Does it have to be a famous person?
No, it does not have to be a famous person because people in our everyday lives who are not famous can be resilient. I'm typing mine in the chat too. I don't know if the internet.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, my computer seems like it's ready to me. My computer was frozen for a minute. I'm looking at the chat, and Michelle Obama, she kept going despite all the hardships being first lady brought in her whole life, as well as her motherhood and marriage. Awesome. Malayla Yousafzai, I hope I'm saying that right, Empress, a girl who was targeted by the Taliban for speaking out about girls' education. my childhood best friend because his sense of dedication is very strong. And I read your comment, Dr. Garcia. So, without further delay, after we hear from Naheem Garcia, who is the proud son of our Dr. Garcia, who works at our school, Southridge, I introduce you to Naheem Garcia, who will be sharing a story. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace, everybody. Yes, I'm the son of Dr. Garcia, wonderful woman in my life. Thank you for receiving me. My mother talked to me, said, "Can you talk about resilience?" And I will be honest, the word was new to me. Like I'm surprised that a lot of young people know it, but it seems to be the language today. And I do my very best to give you the elevator speech with a little extension. Um, I came to this country with my mother and my grandmother, mom from Cuba. I lived in a community where it was very Hispanic. And 1 minute I lived in a black community. I didn't know much about race. I didn't know much about anything. I couldn't quite figure out who I was, what I wanted to do in my life. I know that I didn't want to be a teacher. And I want you to remember that. I know I didn't want to be a teacher, right? I know I didn't want to sit up there and work on lesson plans and do everything else. And and I thought about what can I do? So when I think about resilience, I think about awareness. First, you got to figure out what's your calling. What do you want to do? And as much as I didn't want to be a teacher, it kept pulling me in. And it pulled me in for a couple of reasons because I didn't know how to teach a lot of things, but I knew how to teach acting. I knew how to choreograph. I knew how to enjoy theater, and it gave me a voice. And when I went to high school, as much as I was troubled and angry, I had a chance to role play and figure myself out through this art. As time went on, I started finding myself wanting to do this as a profession. And people always said, "Oh, you got to go to New York. You got to go to LA. You're not going to make it here. You're not going to make it here." But one of the reasons I stayed in Boston specifically is I wanted to know, why can't I make it here? Why can't we work here? Why can't we make sure that we're here to work? And it was very hard. One of the things about resilience is you got to learn to take some pain. You got to learn to carry some weight. You got to learn to get a little tough skin. And you also got to be aware of your own behavior. Think about your character, who you are and why you are. I'm a decent person, but I didn't want to get hoodwinked. I also didn't know a lot. I didn't read very well until the age of 23. And when I started learning how to read scripts a little better. But for the most part, you have to know how to read. You have to know how to know these things. Ask yourself, when you say, "Do you like school?" "I hate school." Ask yourself why. When you say, I don't like reading," but ask yourself why. "I don't like math," yet you like some money. But ask yourself why. When you get to the root of why, did somebody make your education? Did they use it as a weapon? Did it make you read when you was on punishment? Right? Now you're associating punishment with reading. So no, I don't want to read. Did they put you in the corner and say, "Oh, you got to do this much work"? So when somebody did that to you, you start to feel like learning and wanting to learn and wanting to improve yourself was like a punishment, right? Yet we like money, but nobody want to do math. Well, how you gonna count the money? I learned the hard way. That's the other thing. With resilience, you got to be prepared to deal with pain, embarrassment, embarrassment. When I decided that I needed to stop with that attitude about being lazy, because there's something in your brain that makes you lazy, that controls laziness. It's like weeds. It's like the person in the street that's asking for a quarter. They figured all kind of ways to figure out how to get a quarter from you, but they can't put that energy into fixing their life. So you got to also learn about priority. I wanted to be an actor. I didn't want to go to New York. I didn't want to get caught up in that cesspool. I didn't want to go to LA, but I wanted to be an actor. And I also found out through acting that I could also teach, that I was pretty good at it. So as much as I ran from teaching, it was my calling. So what I was aware of was my calling. You got to figure out what your calling is. Everybody gets up and tells you, "Oh, what you want to be when you grow up?" "I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football player." But nowadays you got to feel, "I want to be a doctor and a lawyer." But what about a writer? What about a thinker? What about a person that wants to motivate other people? You got to figure out what you want to do in this life. It's not going to come to you. You got to dig for it. So the other thing about resilience is hard work, and we worked hard. And I want to make sure I built an infrastructure that I can't be the only actor that gets a shot at the one job, right? There has to be more, so they don't keep bringing people. Oh, I didn't know what that was, but okay. But my point is, resilience is giving all you got and never giving up. And you got to be prepared to fall. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story. This past weekend, we took a lot of young people, two young people, to nationals for the next narrative monologue competition. The nationals were at the Apollo. Thank you very much. And out of 8,000 children, out of 9 finalists, out of the 3 that made the finals, 2 of them got to go to nationals. Now, I'm going to leave you with a little something while I'm telling the story. Winning is the journey, not the destination. So my young people went in. This is the first time they do the best performance that I've ever seen. They really reached the performance. You know, you saw these kids that 6 weeks ago, they couldn't say the words. Now they're saying the words, they're delivering it powerful. But this is the first time it happened to me in nationals. I've been a part of nationals for 17 years. And I see my young man, he can't fight the tears because he didn't win. He was the first one to go out of the 18. Right. And then he felt like he didn't give it his best shot and he couldn't hold back the tears. And at that point, I realized we have to teach our young people how to fail, how to take failure, how to deal with it, how to get up. You know, we fall down, but we stand up is a real thing. And if you don't do that, you're always going to be depending on somebody to lift you up. And you got to learn to stand. The only thing I wanted to do in my life is stand. I didn't want to feel stupid. I didn't want to feel dumb. I didn't want to be like the know-it-all. You know, somebody tell you something. Yeah, I know. No, you don't, because you still don't know how to clean the back of your ears yet. You still don't know the little simple things in life, right? And I'm not talking down. I'm just telling you, I've been there. As an adult, I'm still there. As an adult, I struggle every day. Every day of the week, there's not a day that doesn't go by where I say, I'm giving up this acting thing. Everybody walking around thinking I'm a millionaire, and I'm over here trying to figure out how I could clean up this this bank account real quick. You know, trying to figure out, oh my goodness, I need to pay this credit card so I can go get some dinner. You know, because no matter what, I didn't want to give up because I loved it. It gave me peace and it gave me joy and allowed me to give joy to other people. If I get a chance to go and hang out with y'all and play some games and do so, I'll teach you what I was taught, what brought me love. I'm really good at it, and I was proud of one thing that I was good of, and I didn't want to give that up. And no matter what it took, I've been a dean of students. I've been I'm a teaching artist for a very, very big Broadway theater company here in Boston. I've been with them 34 years, and that was school for me because I'm around all these professionals and educators and I'm sitting at the table. So I had to be, you know, self-teaching doesn't mean I taught myself how to read. No, there's a lot of embarrassing moments. There's a lot of public reading and you sounded like you know, I had a 3rd grade level reading. I did for many, many years. And I had to work very, very hard because I didn't want to sound silly. I wanted people to respect my work. When I found my voice in this work, and I know that it was the only thing I could use. It was my weapon and my shield. I didn't want to give that up. Don't give up what you love. If you want to be a basketball player, you better be rolling out of the bed at 4:30 in the morning, knocking out 50 push-ups, running 2 miles, and making sure your homework's knocked out before you get to breakfast. Or you're lying to yourself. You're just telling yourself something you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, get interested in anything that's medical and go volunteer at some hospital, some old folks. Connect with some old people. They need some help. Take an initiative. Give. Don't ever just take, but give. Give. I'm not on here because somebody said take a check. I'm on here because my mama said, these babies need you. I said, I'm coming, mama. And your assistant principal and your principal and all the leadership said, yeah, you come on and you share your story with these people. There's so much to share. The one thing I'm going to leave you with is don't give up the fight. There's going to be a lot of things to discourage you. You didn't get you got a C, but you wanted to B. Don't beat yourself up. What do I need to do to make sure I get that A? What do I have to do? Do I need to get, oh my God, I don't want to go to the library, but I'm going to go. I don't want to get up and, I don't want to read this chapter, but I'm going to force myself to read it. And then I force myself to read it so I don't get bored. I'm going to get real creative on how I read it. Play some music, sing a little bit, read a little bit, get through that chapter and write down what I need to do. There's work and you got to pay attention to details. Pay attention to detail. No. Don't go for, there's no shortcuts. The quickest shortcut is making sure that you pay attention to every step. Because when you got every step in check, you become something what they call a state of flow. Michael Jordan scoring 30, 50 points. Who's the boy? The James. That James boy scoring all those points as quick because it's a state of flow. It's become easy to him because he put his best practice into the point where now it's first thought, second night, boom. It's nothing, right? But it takes work to get there. It doesn't just come to you. Don't always stop working, and don't think that you gotta always go to a higher level. Pay attention to the basic. Go back to the basics sometimes. You know, what are the 8 parts of speech? Go back and look at that a little bit. I haven't looked at it. Go back and look at your fractions and your pluses. Go back and look at that first poem you ever wrote. And think about what you used to sound like and what you sound like today. Look at your improvement. Look at your yeses. Look at your wins. I told my students, you all worry about winning. Look at your wins. What did you really lose? Out of 20,000 people, 2 of you got a chance to come to nationals and use your voice at the Apollo. I'm a professional actor. I never performed at the Apollo. Some of them were performing on Broadway at the August Wilson Theater on 52nd Street in New York City. I never performed on Broadway, and I'm a professional actor. So cut it out. Think about what you won. You met some people from all over the world. Somebody saw you in that audience. You met educators that want to offer you scholarship. What did you really lose? Cut it out. You worked hard, and you wanted to be the trophy in the national. You thought that would do it? No. Remember, Jennifer Hudson did not win, and where'd she go? Who did she become later on? Let's just be realistic. With a little work and some effort, you could be anything you want in this world. Don't let nobody tell you that you have limitations. Learn from other people. Open your mind. Don't be racist and discouraging. I don't talk to them people. You better talk to them people. They might tell you, they might drop a pearl on you. They might give you something you could take to the bank. So I don't want to sit up in here and be preachy about anything. I'm just talking from my heart. I just want you to, so I'm just talking. So I'm gonna get off the soapbox.
Thank you, Naheem. No, you dropped a lot of jewels. Some people wrote some of the things that you were saying in the chat. So it connected with us. And thank you for sharing. And I don't know if anyone has any question for you before you go, because I know we have to move on with the program. Anybody has a question or you want to make a comment in the chat, give him some love or some reactions. And next we have a short video. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I received the love. I'll see y'all soon.
Okay. Can y'all see that?
Not yet. It's coming.
Resilience is about pushing through life's hardships, even when
we can hear it, but can't see it.
And it's about getting through whatever obstacles life throws at you with grace and dignity.
To me, resiliency is the ability to keep your head up when
looking great. And it's
Resilience is about pushing through life's hardships, even when you don't want to or you feel like you can't. It's about getting through whatever obstacles life throws at you with grace and dignity.
To me, resiliency is the ability to keep your head up when things aren't looking great. And it's knowing that tomorrow is a new day and it's a new opportunity.
Having the courage to sit in the uncertainty of life.
Having the ability and strength to overcome the trials and tribulations that you may face.
Resilience means the ability to be flexible and adapt.
To me, resilience means persevering even through obstacles or difficult times, and it's having the mindset that you can always improve and do better.
Overcoming life's challenges and coming back from those challenges as a stronger individual.
Being resilient means going through a hard time and a hard process, and I think it's very important for us to share that with other people.
Through storytelling and sharing experiences, people can then be built up in that way. So for example, if I hear a story of somebody else being resilient, or I could see somebody really exemplifying that, If I was to catch myself in a similar situation or helping somebody going through something like that, I have something to draw on. And so just kind of drawing on each other's experiences and building each other up through storytelling is really important.
Being able to talk to people, being able to embrace that vulnerability that everybody has is something that is extremely crucial, especially when enduring the hardships that everybody endures in that unique manner as well.
Sharing your story can help other people, and hearing from others can also teach you new ways to cope with your challenges.
When we have authentic conversations about what's going on in our lives, we can help support one another better and build stronger selves and community.
Because if we don't talk about it, then we can never bond over things, we can never work through problems, and the problem just gets worse. So a great way to combat that is simply talking about it.
We need to talk about it to show people that it's an actual thing that they can manifest in their lives, and that they can do it through simple practices that we teach at Rise.
I love to do like physical activities. It kind of is like a meditation device for me. I really try to journal every night, and then throughout my day if there's something really weighing on me.
Mindfulness is about grounding and recentering yourself and paying attention to the present moment without judgment. If anything, I would say resilience is a mindset that prepares you in the case of a challenge.
It's okay to not be okay. And talking with people helps you understand that even though you might not feel great now, that there will be a time where you do, and things will look much brighter.
Life will never get easier or be easy, but as long as we have the tools that we can get through anything, we can achieve the lives we want to live.
Okay, so if you would like to share out from the video, you can unmute and share out what resonated. And did you hear a connection from our first speaker to the video? Did you hear a connection? Were you able to make them come together? Did it come together? I need somebody to talk to me.
Yes, it did.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Sorry, Dr. Wright. Dr. Duque. It did, because he was bridging his life story and how he had to be persistent to be an actor, how he overcame learning challenges of reading and his dislike of reading to make him where he was. And this was talking about being resilient and persistent. These kids were talking about the same thing, overcoming the obstacles. I mean, I'll talk about my little journey in a few minutes if we got time, but that's what it is. Resiliency is being able to overcome whatever life throws at you at any time. Now, there's obstacles to resiliency, which we've tackled on these Zooms. Anxiety, depression, fear, they can mess up resiliency. I'm not going to lie. But the ability to overcome any and all of those things, plus poverty, homelessness, hunger, lack of healthcare, in my case, all kinds of things. Adversity breeds character, and adversity breeds persistence and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. That segue because you were next to share 3 minutes of your story that you wanted to share. We got to stick to time because we have to start the Kahoot around 7:15, and we have other people on the agenda, okay? So let's stick to time. Thank you all. Fred Christian is on you.
Yes, okay. My story is basically very simple. I was a disabled adult, didn't know I was disabled. I was kind of like the, Dr. Adamas Garcia. I didn't want to admit my disabilities. I didn't want to face it until I was 40 years old because my dad and mom were disabled, and they said, hide your disabilities. Because my mom was epileptic and my dad having cerebral palsy and being able to walk and do everything. You could see it. And they didn't want me to have the stigma. But they overcame their disabilities. They worked hard their whole lives and were very productive and great examples to me. They taught me to not quit. They taught me to not give up. And that's part of being persistent and being resilient. I had a problem for 30 years that I didn't have health care. I wanted to fix the problem. And somehow, some way, I fell into being an advocate and an activist. And you face a lot of challenges with this. You face a lot of no's. But you have to go because it's the public good. It's the people's good. If you're doing something to help people, keep going. No matter what the obstacles are thrown at you, because the reward is greater than anything you can do. If you're going to do something to stop violence, if you're going to do something to help teach people as a teacher, anything you're doing to do public good, keep going with it. They're going to face resilience, but it's worth it in the end because you're doing such a good work for others. And that's what you got to remember. Put the other people before you. It's not about you. No matter what you face. I faced internet trolls, death threats, financial hardships, all kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you want to see something happen, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a fireman, if you want to be a policeman, a teacher, go to college and be a professor, whatever you want to do, you're going to face challenges and you've got to bounce back from them. You want to have a family and you have a family, you're going to face challenges. Nobody goes through life easy. There's a video I watched with the Rocky Balboa movie where he talks to his son about that. And it's really powerful. I can't show it today, but it's really, real powerful. I'll put it in the chat for you if you want to. But it's really, really powerful. And what he says to his son as an adult, because his son was cowering. He's like, "Oh, I can't face it because you are so famous and big and I'm living in your shadow." Don't let anybody live in your shadow. Live in your own, live on your own, define your own terms, and keep going. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you so much, Fred. And I want to say something as well about Rocky. Because of you introducing me to Rocky and that little short clip, we used that school wide yesterday at the testing meeting. You saw I sent that video to the entire staff because you sent it to me. And when my principal was like, "I want to do the Rocky theme," and that triggered like a thought. Oh, I remember Fred sent me this little clip. So I went back to that clip and I sent it to all the teachers yesterday. So we learn from each other. That's all I want to say. We learn from each other, and that too will help us be resilient. I'm going to turn it over to Emily, who's going to bless us with a song live. She just finished a concert over here. And then next up, we will hear from a former NFL player who's here with us. I saw him on earlier, and I want to thank Mrs. Dugay Wright for always bringing us some phenomenal speakers as well. His name is Brandon Oliver. So the next voice you will hear after the lovely songstress, Emily Garcia, will be Brandon Oliver. I'm going to get up and let her sing from my desk. All right. You have to get on camera. I am on camera though. All right. In the darkness, though the night is black as my skin, there's a light burning bright, showing me the way. I know where I belong. There's a crowd in the distance. It's your voice that comes from deep within. There's a cry asking why. I pray the answers up ahead. 'Cause I know where I've been. There's a road to traveling, not so many, no way. The riches will be plenty. Worth the price we had to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going, yes I do. And I know I've been, yeah. There's a road, riches will be plenty for the price we had to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle that we have yet to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going. Yes, I do. And I know where I've been. Woo! Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, wow, wow. Some comments, reactions in the chat, please. That was beautiful. And to hear her live here, I don't know how it sounds on your side of town, but I just had a whole concert in this office. So thank you, Emily. She's the best. Whew, that was really good. Thank you. You got comments and beautiful voice, amazing singing, amazing voice and message. Y'all heard the words in that song, and she picked her own song. Beautiful voice, wonderful as always, Emily. Wow. Thank you. So thank you all for the comments. I'm going to turn it over now to Brandon Oliver. Thank you all for being here. We have two different surveys we're going to have to complete tonight, okay? One is for the actual 10 days of connection, and one is that we want to know how you felt about the Zooms that we I'm trying to copy the link. Dugay, you sent it. That's the one with Radical Partners, 10 days of connection, and then it's a form here. So as we move in and listening to Brandon Oliver come up next, then we're going into the Kahoot. It's going to be a short Kahoot. Dugay, right? And I turn it over to Brandon Oliver right now. Thank you all. I'm overjoyed as always. Miss Morales in the back. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hello, fellow Spartans. How y'all doing? Everybody good? Yeah, my name is Brandon Oliver. I graduated in 2009 with dreams and aspirations since I was 6 years old to make it to the NFL, make it to the Hall of Fame, and made it to the NFL. But I didn't establish myself in the way that I wanted to, in the way that I saw fit for my career to be. So when it ended, it was one of the toughest things in my life. It was one of the toughest transitions that I ever went through. And with that, seeing that video of resilience, it was something that I definitely had to be resilient with. There's a Hall of Fame running back named Walter Payton. Maybe some of y'all know of him. And he had a book, and the title of the book is called Never Die Easy. And that was all about being resilient in life, whatever comes your way, whatever's thrown at you. And what was thrown at me was something totally unexpected, honestly, because I was always so close to being on the brink of what I thought success would be. And when I got out of the NFL, when I got cut, it was tough. But I met my wife maybe like 4 weeks before I got cut. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. God knew exactly what I needed during that transition, and she stuck by my side the whole way. And what I realized, I am an introvert, but during the transition, it was more like a heavy isolation. I didn't want to go outside. I didn't really want to be seen as much. And I put such a heavy burden on myself. And I think when we allow others to control the perspective of what success is, it can kind of attack our identity when we leave the definition of success in the hands of others. And I had to remind myself, like, dude, you made it to the NFL. Like, less than 1% of kids that come out of high school do that. I've been playing since I was less than 0.5% make it to the NFL, to play from the age 6. It's like image after the likeness of God. You did something that many haven't done and have aspired to do. You can definitely reinvent yourself in another area. And one area that I was running from is this area, speaking and writing. I always knew I had a gift of writing. That was like my best test scores was in writing. And speaking is not something that I was heavily influenced in growing up. So it was kind of tough. Like my pastor used to always tell me since I was a kid, like, God calling you to this. And I'm like, I don't hear God calling me to that. And, to see the transition of, people wanting me to actually speak, even when I was in the NFL, but I never really understood it, and I guess it's because, I don't speak much, but when I do speak, I understand how. And through my transition, I went to this therapy spot in California, and it was other former players there. And one thing I noticed that everyone had lost was childlike faith. The faith that you believe you can do anything. When I tell you, I went around the room, I'm an analyzer because, I like to sit back and analyze sometimes and observe. And when everyone spoke, I seen that and I heard it in their tone, like it had been stripped away from them. So when you allow someone to do that and you really don't know how to turn that page, it's tough. So if you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. If you need to meditate, meditate. One thing that was great about me, since I was a child, man, I always had a foundation of family who was in my corner, always. And I think that saved me. And I think when we guys make tragic decisions because, a lack of foundation. And I think these type of groups are good as long as, those individuals are willing to come and show their face and speak out. So that childlike faith is something serious. Like when I was a child, like I just felt like I couldn't be stopped and at no point in life, I believed big and I made it there. I didn't finish how I wanted to finish, but at the same time, it's success, and my family always told me, you too hard on yourself sometimes. And, it took me a while to understand that because when anxiety and depression and these things come, complacency also comes. So it's a lack of motion in your life. It's a lack of health to help you to, and I want to just encourage y'all to move forward in whatever it is that you need to do. Get you a foundation. You have teachers and you have other people in your life. Ask them questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. I think that's the biggest thing. I remember when I was in the NFL and my last year in the NFL, my last year with the Chargers, it was horrible. And I remember LaDainian Tomlinson, another Hall of Fame running back. He came to me personally, and I know, I'm the type of person you could see when something weighing on me because I'm either up and down. I'm not good at being in the middle. I really don't know how to hide stuff. So he came to me and he said, "Are you okay?" And because I didn't know how to express myself with what I was going through, I just said, "Yeah." But that could have been an opportunity to, instead of holding everything in, and then it's like you're by yourself. So I want to encourage you to speak up, no matter it is what you're going through, no matter what type of thoughts that you're having. Speak up, and never die easy. Never die easy. Always stay resilient. You're a Spartan. You got plenty of Spartans around you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that, and I'll leave it there. I want to thank y'all for having me as well.
Thank you. Let's put some comments in the chat. You have a few. I don't know if you got a chance to read them because I know you're speaking. Let's
Yeah.
do some reactions, some comments in the chat. Thank you for being vulnerable. Like it takes
Yes.
a lot, and you said a lot of things that made me think back, because sometimes sometimes in life, like yeah, you did reach that pinnacle of success,
Right.
but not being able to maintain it and still have your dignity and self-pride and being
Right.
able to go to therapy and stuff. Like you shared so much. Like thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I really truly appreciate you for sharing that. So you
you.
have some comments, great advice. Thank you for sharing this inspiring story. It takes courage. We need to have childlike faith. Thanks, Brandon. Childlike faith is an amazing experience to have. It takes courage to be yourself. It takes courage to love yourself, but it takes being resilient to decide to make you like and love you. That's
Right.
right, Dr. Garcia.
Right.
That's what the doctor ordered. Powerful. Thank you, Brandon. This is
Thank
much needed. Dion, you are an inspiration. Faith over fear.
you. That's right.
Overcome it all. Amen. Yes. Yes. We have a short poem. Thank you so much. We have a short poem now from Abe Gonzalez. He wrote a poem, Wings versus Floating. And then I'm going to turn it over to you, Ms. Duguay. I put 2 surveys in the chat. Please make sure you're able to complete a form and the survey. If you can't do both, do what you can. If you can't do it, it's fine as well. So Abe, you ready?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Nah, you're not even on camera. Come on. You got to be resilient tonight.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So should I start with introducing like it, or should I just like say it?
You could just say it since you're nervous. Just say it.
Okay. So like Ian said, my poem is called Wings versus Floating, and it goes as said. Wings are forged of iron and fire, each beat a promise, each lift a desire. They slice through clouds, they conquer skies, earned by struggle, defying lies. Yet tethered to winds, their power is chained, dependent on tempests, through storms they've strained. But floating silent, an effortless drift, a dreamlike grace, a weightless gift. No toil, no rush, just gentle release, a dance so steady, a quiet peace. Yet aimless it seems, without control, no heights to reach, no fiery goal. Wings cry, we fight, we dare, we strive. With strength and sweat, we feel alive. The sky is our prize, the earth our past. We'll carve our path and hold it fast. Floating whispers, why the race? The sky's no more than empty space. With calm we drift, with ease we sway. Why fight the winds? They'll guide our way. A choice between effort and letting go, the call of ambition or a tranquil flow. But perhaps, in balance, a truth may gleam, the power to strive and the freedom to dream.
Um, Abe, it's even more amazing hearing it the second time. Abe came by my office this afternoon after school. I was sitting here. He said, "Let's finish our conversation from the other day." I'm like, "Come on, just remind me what the conversation was." So he was advocating for his brother in my office, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how the poem came up, and I say, "Let me hear the poem." I say, "Let me hear it." And then when I heard it, I'm like, "Dude, this is just what we're going to talk about tonight on Zoom." So at 3 something, I'm hearing this poem, and then I invited him to the Zoom. So here we are. You see the connections be working, and angels be coming just out of nowhere. He came in here and he had that poem ready for me to read after another conversation. So shout out to Abe doing an amazing job today.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have comments in the chat. Give him some more comments in the chat and some reactions. Thank you, Abe.
I'm feeling like a little more confident. I feel like I can like say like what brought me to like make this poem.
Okay, you got 1 minute to wrap it up.
All right. Okay. So, um, 2 months ago, I was making a series of like 14 poems, and this happens to be one of them. They were like reflective poems about how I was feeling during my second and third semester. And so I was like kind of reflecting that like while continuing to move forward, like promises like a lot of good things for me. Like it really helps my adversity. I've also been seeing that like it's also like putting me in like a struggle because um like when you try to push forward, you like you kind of get stuck sometimes. And so I thought, why not take a slow pace? And so I tried that too, and it felt really nice, but it was really damaging my academics. So then I then I started to write about this. And then after writing about this, I found like kind of um like balance in a way because I started seeing that I could possibly balance my need to slow down and rest with trying to stay up with my grades. And I'm not complete with that yet. I'm still going through it, and
Yes.
I'm planning to still go through it still.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, Abe, and I appreciate you.
You're
Abe, what
very
grade you in?
I'm a junior, 11th grade.
Okay, I'm gonna be using you a lot next year. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. I'm turning it over to Ms. Duguay. You have a lot of comments, so please go back and
I'm
read.
reading them all right. And thank you guys all for that. Those wonderful words. Thank you very much.
You're so amazing, Abe.
Hi.
Yes. Before Ms. Duguay goes on, Duguay, right? Anybody has any comment they want to share? Because we're gonna run out of time, and I'm not gonna have comments at the end.
One thing I was thinking of, Tawana, real quick for Abe.
Quick.
I was thinking of take time. Make sure when you take time, it's okay to take time to breathe. I learned that the hard way. It's okay to take time to breathe and self-care. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Anybody else? Quickly. 10 seconds. Quickly. You got to have something to say.
Everybody was amazing. I'm very inspired tonight. It was awesome. Everybody was amazing with your stories. Very, very awesome.
Thank you, Ms.
From
Jackson.
start to finish, start to finish.
Yes.
I like
Everybody.
the fact that Abe talked about, not Abe, somebody else
Brandon.
talked about therapy, because we always look at therapy as something that is not good, that, I have to be crazy. No. Well, coming from me, right? You need to know that therapy is okay. It'll take you places.
Yes. Thank you all for sharing. I got to wrap it up. I'm not rushing you all, but the time is running. And we got to get into our Kahoot because I got to beat this time. I'm winning.
It's the last Kahoot, but I'm going to tell you something, not to give the devil no credit, but my computer just shut down. They talk about I don't have no storage and all this other kind of stuff. So I am logged in under my son's computer. So Ms. Akins, you gotta give Dion. I just booted him off. So I
got it. I'm gonna give him
a get my Kahoots going.
And any students from Southridge, I need you to sign in one last time because you can only get the 3 hours if you stay the entire time. So sign in again, Southridge, or any other students who want community service hours. And over to you, Duguay.
Okay, so let's see. It's telling me, okay. It's not sharing. Let's see. Did you have it as share?
Yes. Oh,
yeah, I'm under Dion now. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. If anybody see it before me who has rights, go ahead and do it. Because I'm looking. I don't see Dion. Maybe it's not meant for me to beat you all in Kahoot tonight. You know why I don't see Dion? Because I'm oh, that's why. Is it this? You said I can't do it from my end.
But it says are you the host? You changed host?
I thought I was the host.
You have to let her in as a host for her to
Your
share.
host. It's on the Brandon Oliver.
Let me do gallery view. Okay, now I see you. Make co-hosts. Yeah, you got it.
All right, there it is. Okay.
So we got 5 minutes. We'll just do a few.
Yeah, we'll do it quick. We'll do it quick. You know, we can do the, you know, the speed version, right?
Yes.
Does everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, like as we always do, just go ahead and type, enter Kahoot it, or if you have your phone, you can scan the QR code. And the QR code, you know, Miss Akins, she's gonna, you know, try to see if she can razzle dazzle us.
It's not meant for me to play. My QR code not scanning tonight. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Y'all can have it tonight.
I can't see anything.
I'm gonna let y'all win tonight. Go ahead, Juju.
All right, we ready? All right, you can always enter the QR code. It's going to be at the bottom. So if you didn't get to scan, or you could type it in the chat. You know, we could always switch it up.
Yep.
All right, so this is always the survey. How do you prioritize mental health? So this is your opinion. This is how you feel. This is what you think, what you learned today. Once again, if you didn't join, you can join the game pin at the bottom so you can get your credit. Almost everybody answered.
I did, but it's not.
Okay, so daily, okay, very good. True or false? Mental health is only important in May. Or everybody should be pop, 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 like the popcorn, right? All right, so I love it when everybody gets the answer correct, right? We have done mental health, as Miss Aiken said, every month for 9 months. What is this year's theme for Mental Health Awareness Month? Now, this is you know, what you think this month's theme is for this year. Yes, turning awareness into action. So I think our theme of resilience is hitting that on the head. All right, Dr. T, I see you.
Oh, he made me sick.
Which activity helps explore mental health? Which activity helps explore mental health? You know, sometimes I try to find a picture, you know, here's a hint that can help you. I'm gonna give you this much. Definitely not shopping. We just talked about, you know, Naheen, and we got to make sure our bank accounts be right? Okay. Any shifting? Okay, let's see. True or false? Mental health conditions are permanent states. All right, let's see. Pop, 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 like the popcorn. Let's go. Let's go.
Mental health condition are permanent states.
Mm-hmm. It's not a trick question, Dr. G. No, it's fluid, you know, it's fluid.
Why is my name up there at all?
What can help improve mental health? What can help improve mental health? Let's see. The picture gives you, you know, pictures, you know how they say a picture is 1,000 words.
On my phone, so it takes forever for it to get in there.
Seeking support is always one of the things that Brandon shared with my class when he talked to them is about having a good support system. So that's where I got that question from.
Areas of support.
1 minute left.
Okay. What is a self-care practice?
Mindful social media scrolling.
Okay, pop, pop, pop like the popcorn. Let's go. Mindfulness. Yes. Okay, let's see. True or false? Everyone has mental health. Pop, 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 pop. I love the pop, 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 pop like the popcorn. There we go. Speed. We're speeding through. Let's go. We're going to make that minute. What is a benefit of sharing mental health stories? We did that today. Pop, 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 pop like the popcorn. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing. Building those connections. And we're going to end with this last question. Dr. T, let's see what you got. Which resource helps with emotional well-being? This will be our last question. Let's see. The faster you answer it, the more correct you answer it, then you're able to. Amazing. Let's see who's on the podium.
Oh,
Jair, did I pronounce it correctly?
That's a student?
I'm not sure. We got Dr. T.
That's a Spartan.
I'm on my phone, so it doesn't come through here.
Come by my office, Jair.
Uh-oh.
That's
all right.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you all for attending our monthly mental health. Thank you, Ms. Duguay, for always making it fun.